All right, here we are in the middle of the helpful content update. I think somewhere towards the end, but let's talk about how unhelpful and how crazy this update has really been. The helpful content update has really been much broader than other updates that I have seen, where more sites are really being affected by this, and they're being affected by this in a really big way. Now, I don't know if the SERPs will settle, the helpful content update will end, and then we'll see some of the crazy results become better and not as crazy. But while they're as crazy as they are, I figured let's talk about it and see what you are seeing out there as well. Now, of course, Pinterest is winning a lot of the top spots. Pet Supply, Chewy, those big brands are winning top spots, not only in the pet niche, but in other niches, not PetSmart Direct, but big brands or high authority sites are always winning in these types of updates. But this one was a little bit crazier. This is the Georgia Department of Agriculture and the Florida Department of Agriculture. The agricultural state sites are winning informational type keywords in the pet niche. And not only are they winning the top spot, they're actually taking several spots for several different types of informational keywords. The top spot keyword is being taken by a page that is answering that question. However, I'll show you how crazy the actual optimization and information on that page actually is. And then the second spot that they're taking over in the top 10 has nothing to do with that type of query. But the page that is taking the top spot, let me show you a little bit of what that looks like. If you take a look at the actual optimization to answer that keyword, in Surfer, they're rating about a 16. They have 162 words compared to the competitors that have anywhere from 1,700 to 2,000 words. They don't have a heading 1, they have a heading 2 on most of those sites. And if they have a heading, they only have one and they don't have any others. And again, about 162 words. Those 162 words do not answer the question. They do not provide valuable or helpful information for those queries. If you take a look at their entity score, mine is a little blue dot. That's the government site. They've mentioned in 160 words, not many entities. They don't have great optimization. They're not really answering the query. In fact, I would bounce off of that site and try to search for a better site because it's just not answering the question. So the helpful content update has really shaken up the SERPs in a really unhelpful way. If you take it a bit further and take a look at their actual category of the site using on-page AI, they're coming up as law and government, or a government site, where all the others are coming up as pet and animals, hobbies and leisure. The categories are not matching. So you have a site with a completely different category taking over terms of informational sites. Those are not the only type of sites. We also have Reddit coming in and taking over all kinds of informational terms. You have Quora doing the same. So the SERPs are really shaken up. When affiliate sites started getting hit really, really hard, a lot of you started doubling down on informational type content. And I think you felt safe by doing that. And what I want to reiterate is there is no site or type of site that is actually safe. We will see a change in the algo SERP results regardless. These updates will shake us up no matter how well we think we're doing, how well we've written the content, how much information we have provided, how much we have jumped through Google's hoops. The fact of the matter is the SERPs will continue to change. They will continue to make changes that sometimes are terrible, like the helpful content update. This time around, it is hitting great sites that have really good information, well-written information, by the way. It's not all AI. It's not all junk content. It's actually really well-written, very well prepared, nicely optimized. However, the update is targeting them, and we're really seeing a big shakeup. And you've got Reddit type forums, you have Quora, we have state agricultural sites taking over. Of course, the big boxes continue to win in all of the updates. We always see a push for that. We see Pinterest coming in and taking over some really nice spots. And this reminds me, there's a group of people out there that think e-com sites are safe from the updates, and they are not safe either. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. There is no site that is safe. There is no site that can be so well done that it can never be hit, because the SERPs are constantly changing. Whether it's a good change or a bad change, you're going to see a difference. And sometimes it's not a good difference. For instance, this particular helpful content update not only has pushed sites to the front that don't answer our question, that are not helpful in any way, but I've also seen a lot of spam type sites go to the top that are actually offering really bad information that could harm a person. So this particular SERP update wasn't for the best or as helpful as they wanted it to be, at least in the eyes of site owners. Did it do what Google wanted it to do? I have no idea, because what is their end game? In the end game, it's to make more money, but they seem to be happy with it. So my question is, when the helpful content ends, will it settle with these crazy results that we have now that make absolutely no sense, that don't answer our questions? Or will we see that settle out? The Reddit forums, the URLs are targeting the keyword. The meta titles across all of these sites, the forum, Reddit, all of them, all of the ones I haven't named, their URLs are targeting the keyword. The meta titles are targeting the keyword, and that's about where it stops. Usually they have one heading, whether it be a heading 1, 2, 3, whatever, and that's about where it stops. Authority site that end up winning. Now, I'm not talking about the spammy site, but for my examples today, these are all high authority sites with well-targeted URLs, nicely crafted, targeted meta titles for that particular keyword. And that's about where the optimization stops. Now, some SEOs would say, yes, but are those sites winning in the race that are coming up at the top? Are they answering the question? And are they more end user friendly, or are they serving up the information that an end user would want to say, therefore making it a little bit more helpful? And the answer is no, absolutely not. I asked a couple of questions through and searched some of the Florida Department of Agricultural keywords that they were winning for the how to, what, and how type informational keywords, read the information that it provided, and it did not answer the question. It was so vague. I would have to bounce out and read another site to try to answer my question. So this particular helpful content update wasn't helpful, and it's attacking sites that felt they were doing everything correctly. But I'm going to remind you one more time, the SERPs always change. It doesn't matter how we're doing things, it's still going to change. What was accepted a month ago is not going to be accepted 5 months ago. What we felt was really good optimization a year ago will not be good optimization this year. I do understand how gut-wrenching this is for a site owner. I've seen it happen time and time again in local. We're seeing it time and time in affiliate, and now with informational. Next, we're going to start seeing it within the e-com realm. The updates don't always make sense. I think it makes sense to the bottom line of Google, but it doesn't make sense to site owners. There will be more just like this one that shakes up and brings these sites that frankly don't really answer the question, but there are ways to get around this, and there are ways to bring your site back to the top. At the end of the day, we have to figure it out. That's just what SEO is all about. So the SERPs right now are a mess. Now you might take a look at it and say it's authority, it's all authority that's winning and you have to compete. But let me tell you, when we had this type of shakeup in local, it was not only about authority. There's no way a local site could compete with Yelp on an authority type level. And there's no way the small guys can compete with the Department of Agricultural in Florida or Reddit type sites. There's no way you can win in the actual domain authority type race. So if you're feeling this is only about authority, I ask you to open your mind up just a little bit more, not only to do with authority, but it also has to do with on-page, believe it or not. So the question I have is, will the bad results, will they continue to take over and have bad results? Or will this settle in and it will be something more like what we saw in local, which eventually we were able to push them back down with a lot of time and a whole lot of work. I believe the SERPs are set up so that if we do have bad results and we are bouncing off of them, eventually they will get pushed down. There are ways to maneuver and move back to the top. With that said, this update has been a real disappointment to a lot of us because it just really wasn't helpful, but what they say and what they do are always two different things. And as I see it unfold, I'll continue to talk about it here.